Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiv Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirye Nashtiprayeshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 12, birth of Emperor Parikshit, text number 9 onwards. No, 9 we did, so 10 onwards. Sorry. Text 10. Ashruteja swagadya niharamiv gopatihi vidhamantam sannikarshe paryakshat kaityaso. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra, just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew. He was observed by the child who thought about who he was. So, so when Krishna's potency is compared to Brahmastra radiation. So example is given, just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew. So how difficult it's for the sun to evaporate a drop of dew? Hardly any difficulties there. Or there is none at all, none whatsoever. So similarly, the Lord Krishna, he vanquished the radiation of Brahmastra just like that. For him, it's not difficult at all. While he was doing that, he was observed by the child Parikshit, who thought about who this person is. So he remembered Krishna from the womb. And actually, it is said that's why his name was Parikshit. He was named as Parikshit because when he was born, he was always looking for that personality whom he saw in the womb of his mother. So he was always testing, is that the person? Is that the person? Is he the one? Is he the one? So that's why his name is Parikshit, means one who takes pariksha, one who examines. So he was always examining. And when he finally took darshan of Krishna, um, he didn't really take darshan, but Krishna had, Krishna hadn't left when he was born. I don't remember if he personally got to see Krishna, but he heard about him. So let's see later on if he said he personally took darshan of Krishna or not. Text 11. Vidhuya tadam eyatma bhagwan dharma gub vibhu mishto dashamasasya tatrav antardade harihi. While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, and the protector of the religious, at once disappeared. Although he is dressed by all directions and is unlimited by time and space. Child Parikshit was not observing a living being who is limited by time and space. There is a gulf of difference between the Lord and the individual living being. The Lord is mentioned herein as a supreme living being, unlimited by time and space. Every living being is limited by time and space. Even though a living being is qualitatively one with the Lord, quantitatively there is a great difference between the super soul and the common individual soul. In the Bhagavad Gita, both the living beings and the supreme being are said to be all pervading, yena sarvam idam tatam. Yet there is a difference between these two kinds of all pervasiveness. A common living being or soul can be all pervading within his own limited body. But the supreme living being is all pervading in all space and all time. So Krishna, as Prabhupada is explaining here, he is not limited by time and space. Although he looked like only a thumb high, that was his size, but he's not limited. That's what we have to understand, the properties, the qualities of Krishna. He might come, he might show himself as such, that he's small, he's very small, but he's not limited. That means we are putting a condition on him if we say he is limited. He's not at all limited. That's why it's a common practice when we measure the size of a deity, Archa Vigraha. So normally, if you have to tell somebody, okay, I want something which is maybe this big. So we tell like that, maybe 6 inches. But when we talk about Archa Vigraha, we don't limit him like this. We say like this. So left hand is down, facing down, and right hand is up, facing up, because he's not limited. Although he might look like 6 inch tall deity or 8 inch tall deity or 1 feet tall deity, but still he's not limited. So it's a common practice. We refer to him like that. Anyone who is a surrendered soul unto the Supreme is righteous, and he is specifically protected by the Lord in all circumstances. The Lord is an indirect protector of the unrighteous also, for he rectifies their sin through his external potency. The Lord is mentioned herein as one who is dressed by the 10 directions. It doesn't mean he is not wearing the garments, but this means that the Lord, dressed by the garments of 10 sides up and down, is present everywhere and can appear and disappear at his own will from everywhere and anywhere. His disappearance from the sight of child Parikshit does not mean that he appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there. He was always there in the womb. Because, first of all, as Paramatma in the heart of child Parikshit, he was there. And as Paramatma in each and every atom of the universe, he is there in the womb. But he just appeared in front of the child. His disappearance from the sight, okay, he was present there, and even after his disappearance, he was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. This material covering of the effulgent firmament is also something like a womb of the Mother Nature. And we are all put into the womb by the Lord, the Father of all living beings. He is present everywhere, even in this material womb of Mother Durga. And those who are deserving can see the Lord. So we have to become qualified. We have to deserve. First deserve, then desire. If we are deserving, if we are qualified to see the Lord, then if we have the desire, He will show Himself to us. If we have the desire but we don't deserve, then of course it is right. He's completely independent. He can still show Himself to us, but that's up to Him. Just like when we go take darshan of the deity in the temple. First of all, only the qualified people can come to the temple. Not just anybody and everybody can come, because it's a house of the Lord. He has invited those people. Without Lord's permission, they can't even enter the temple. And even though they enter the temple, then those who are more qualified among all those qualified, they only can get to take darshan of the Lord. Others might come and see a pathar murti or a brass murti. Even for that, one needs qualification. But to see the Lord Himself, that is the real thing. And to see the Lord performing some pastimes while standing. For us, He is standing as a Archamurti, but He's still performing pastimes. That is a real qualification. And there are many, many devotees who have wonderful experiences with the deities. I'm pretty sure you want to hear some stories now. Well, in the scriptures there are so many stories, but in recent times, when Srila Prabhupada was with his disciples in Vrindavan, or ISKCON Vrindavan temple, Krishna Balram. So one very ordinary looking person came from Rajasthan, and he was sitting in the temple hall, and then the darshan closed, curtain, it was afternoon time, Raj Bhog Aarti time, afterwards the darshan closed, And he kept sitting in the temple hall, and the devotees asked him to move because they had to clean the temple hall or something. But that person, he wasn't ready to move, ready to leave. And devotees, they didn't have that much experience or maturity at that time, so they mm, literally they picked him up and took him outside. And they were the American devotees. Afterwards, they came to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada this is what happened. Prabhupada chastised them. Prabhupada said, "Go get that man." And the devotees, of course, when Prabhupada chastised, and they ran everywhere, and somehow they found him, found that person, they brought him to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, "What were you doing?" He said, "Actually, I was seeing Krishna Balram. They were doing they're doing their Leela. They were playing. And I got so absorbed in seeing that." And then Prabhupada told his disciples, "See this person." Although he was just, I mean, he was sitting on this side of the curtain and the deities were on the other side of the curtain and behind closed doors, but he could still see. So he was genuine. Of course, many times we find many fake people also, but Prabhupada could see through that he was a genuine person. So that's what it is. Deities, they are not just a murti standing there. They do have their pastimes. They do their leelas. Banke Bihari ji in Vrindavan, why they close his curtain every once in a while? And very quickly, they don't let you take darshan for too long. Because once one devotee came long time back and he got so attracted to Banke Bihari ji, or Banke Bihari ji got attracted to him, that when the devotee was leaving, Banke Bihari ji left with them. And the pujaris had to run after Banke Bihari ji to bring him back. "Oh, if you go away, what will happen to this temple? So you don't go away. You can't go away." So they brought him back. And that's why they keep on closing the curtain till now, very soon after they open, because they don't want anybody to keep staring at Banke Bihari ji and develop that kind of attraction. Well, obviously, but this is mechanical means. If the attraction is there, it can happen in 1 second also. But this is the pastime of the Lord as a deity, and he can do that. He's not conditioned, he's not limited by time or place or space. Just like there's a beautiful story of Sakshi Gopal. Maybe some other day we'll tell this story. And the deity itself walked all the way from Vrindavan to South India behind this devotee. In fact, when this devotee, this Brahman, he went to see Sakshi Gopal. Well, that time his name was Gopal, deity. And he asked Gopal to come and be a witness, become a Sakshi for the dispute. And Gopal told him, in fact, Gopal talked to him. And he said, "Have you ever seen deity going anywhere?" Brahman, he was even smarter. See, this is the sign of a devotee. They are smarter. And even Krishna feels helpless. The Brahman said, "If you can talk, if you can eat, and if you can talk, you surely can walk also. So walk, come with me." So even Krishna was speechless. Now what to say? He gives wonderful philosophy in Bhagavad Gita, but he is speechless in front of his devotees. You can't argue with them. So he had to walk. The deity had to walk. So modern scientists and non-believers or atheists or agnostics or whatever the names are, they can keep on saying different things about the deities. But those who are devotees, those who have faith, for them deity is everything. Deity can walk, deity can sit down, deity can stand up, deities can sleep, deities can eat, deities can take bath. They can do everything and they do everything. It's not like they can do it, but they don't do, but they do. They do every day. It just it's just a matter of our faith and our devotion, our service attitude. If that is there, deities will respond. They will reciprocate. So they are not limited, just like in the shloka here, Krishna is not limited. He appeared in the womb of Mother Uttara, but he's not limited. And when child Parikshit saw him, he remembered that form of the Lord. Text 12. तथा सर्व गुणोदर के सानुकूल गृहोदय यज्ञ वंशधरा पांडुर भूया पांडुरिवोजसा. Thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. So the Parikshit Maharaj, he took birth when all the good signs of zodiac were there. Astronomical calculations of stellar influences upon a living being are not suppositions, but are factual, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Every living being is controlled by the laws of nature at every minute, just as a citizen is controlled by the influence of the state. The state laws are grossly observed, but the laws of material nature, being subtle to our gross understanding, cannot be experienced grossly. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, every action of life produces another reaction, which is binding upon us, and only those who are acting on behalf of Yajna are not bound by reactions. So, every action that we do is binding upon us, it has a reaction, whether good or bad reaction. But those who are acting on behalf of Yajna, Vishnu, sacrifice, they are not bound by such reactions. Our actions are judged by the higher authorities, the agents of the Lord, and thus we are awarded bodies according to our activities. The law of nature is so subtle that every part of our body is influenced by the respective stars, and a living being obtains his working body to fulfill his terms of imprisonment by the manipulation of such astronomical influence. A man's destiny is therefore ascertained by the birth time constellation of stars, and a factual horoscope is made by a learned astrologer. It's a great science, and misuse of a science does not make it useless. So, wonderful statement for astrologers, especially Radhakrishnan Prabhu. He's a great astrologer. Like he should read this purport also. Maharaj Parikshit, or even the personality of Godhead, appear in certain constellation of good stars, and thus the influence is exerted upon the body, thus born at an auspicious moment. The most auspicious constellation of stars take place during the appearance of the Lord in this material world, and it's specifically called Jayanti, a word not to be abused for any other purposes. Now, these days we use Jayanti for anybody, any politician or any cricket star or any movie star. But Jayanti word is specifically mentioned for the Lord, reserved for the Lord, appearance. Maharaj Parikshit was not only a great Kshatriya emperor, but also a great devotee of the Lord. Thus, he cannot take his birth at an inauspicious moment. As a proper place and time is selected to receive a respectable personage, so also to receive such a personality as Maharaj Parikshit, who was especially cared for by the Supreme Lord, a suitable moment is chosen when all good stars assembled together to exert their influence upon the king. It's a wonderful statement Prabhupada's writing. See, saying just like when a great personality comes, there's a great entourage, or very nicely decorations are made, things are arranged for to receive him properly. So similarly, when person like Maharaj Parikshit was about to take birth, all the stars they lined up properly to receive such a great personality. Wonderful. Thus he took his birth just to be known as a great hero of Srimad Bhagavatam. The suitable arrangement of astral influences is never a creation of man's will, but is the arrangement of the superior management of the agency of the Supreme Lord. Of course, the arrangement is made according to the good or bad deeds of the living being. Herein lies the importance of pious acts performed by the living being. Only by pious acts can one be allowed to get good wealth, good education, and beautiful features. See, when we are born, so of course we have our own set of pious and impious activities that we had done in the previous lives. So when we are born, well, some good starts are there, and many times many bad stars are there lined up. So it's like a person, Vidurpriya is coming, and some good people are there to receive, but many very good people are also there to beat me up. So this is our chart. This is our astrological chart. Okay, you will enjoy this, but you have to meet these very good people, and they will really give you good time, really good time that you're gonna have. So so this is our astrological science. But look at Maharaj Parikshit, how it is explained here. The sanskaras of the school of Sanatan Dharma are highly suitable for creating an atmosphere for taking advantage of such good stellar influences. And therefore, Garbhadan Sanskar, or the first seedling purificatory process prescribed for the higher caste, is the beginning of all pious acts to receive a good, pious, and intelligent class of men in human society. There will be peace and prosperity in the world due to good and sane population only. There is hell and disturbance only because of the unwanted, insane populace addicted to sex indulgence. So, this is the result of pious activities that we get to take birth among very good constellation of stars, and the life thereon will be very smooth, very nice. तस्य प्रीतमना राजा विप्रैर्धौम्य कृपादिभिः जातकं कारयमास वाचित्वा च मंगलम्. King Yudhishthir, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, had the purificatory process of birth performed by learned Brahmins, headed by Dhaumya and Kripa, along with recitation of auspicious hymns. So this is the perfect duty of Maharaj Yudhishthir to receive Maharaj Parikshit as a little baby in the family. There is a need for good and intelligent class of Brahmins who are expert in performing the purificatory processes prescribed in the system of Varnashram Dharma. Unless such purificatory processes are performed, there is no possibility of good population. And in this age of Kali, the population all over the world is of Shudra quality or lower for want of this purificatory process. So this purificatory process or sanskaras that are mentioned in scriptures. So there are. It is said there are 10 most important sanskaras that has to be done in the life of a human being. Anyone who is born as a human. So first sanskar is Garbhadan sanskar. Garbhadan sanskar, Prabhupada mentioned in the previous purport. It is done before the before the soul is conceived in the body of a mother. So before the husband and wife they unite, the sanskar is done. So when they unite, a proper auspicious situation is made so that a proper very pious soul enters that womb of the mother through the semen of the father. So that act of conceiving a baby, actually it's a very pure act. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, I am that. So it's a very pure thing, very pure process. Well, these days it has been turned into something gross or something that we do hiding or some other ways. But it is supposed to be a process by which a soul is given a chance to take birth as a human being and carry on his duties further. So, to facilitate a pure, really pious soul to enter the womb, this sanskar is done. By the sanskar, the womb is purified. So, when there's a clean, purified place, only a clean, nice, pious soul will come and reside there. And of course, there are after the birth, there are so many other sanskars, and the last sanskar is a daha sanskar, where the person dies and then his cremation is done properly, so that the soul goes on to onward journey. So the whole process is very scientific, actually. But because they are not proper Brahmins who would perform this process or who would explain it properly, that's why the current population thinks, oh, it's all superstition. It doesn't make sense. How is it possible? This is what Prabhupada is writing, that there is a need for a good and intelligent class of Brahmins who are expert in performing the purificatory processes prescribed in the system of Varnashram Dharma. So, unless such processes are performed, there is no possibility of good population. And this is actually, this was the fear of Arjun at the war of Mahabharata. He said no, about Varna Sankar, if I kill all these people here, the women will be unprotected and there will be Varna Sankar, unwanted population. Unwanted population means the first sign is no Garbhadan Sanskar, means they're not really wanted because the husband and mother and father or husband and wife got into the act. So, well, Yamraji had to send some soul in the body. It wasn't wanted soul, it was just some soul was sent. So then Prabhupada explains about other uh, purificatory processes. After the Garbhadan purificatory process, there are certain other sanskaras like Simanton Nayan, Sadha Bhashikanam, some other sanskaras. And to perform those sanskaras, they were wonderful sages, like expert Brahmins like Dhaumya and Kripa. So they performed this sanskar for Maharaj Parikshit. Then Prabhupada talks about this Kripacharya a little, and he hands the purport there. The great administrators, kings, and emperors were always under the guidance of learned Brahmins like Kripacharya, and thus were able to act properly in the discharge of political responsibilities. So, although Kripacharya fought against Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas because he was fighting on the side of Kauravas, but after the war, he came and Yudhishthira Maharaj accepted him because he's a Brahman. He accepted him back in his kingdom, that now you be our Kul Guru, you be our family Brahman, family Guru. And Kripacharya did that. So his duty was, although he was a Brahman and he wasn't supposed to fight on the side of Duryodhan, but because he was related to Dronacharya, his wife was married to Dronacharya, and Ashwatthama was also related. So he did take part in the war of Mahabharata. But still, he was being respected uh, by Yudhishthira Maharaj very nicely, and he acted properly afterwards also. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. So we all are thinking, oh, when I was born, there was no Garbhadan Sanskar done. So okay, yeah, it wasn't done, fine. But now, if we are chanting and listening to Bhagavatam, it is a big purification. So don't worry. Yes, Raghu Prabhu, you're saying something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when I was in States in Chicago and Houston, there was inauguration of this great temples by the Swaminarayan Trust. So
Mhm.
it was such a great function, in Chicago they hosted for almost 50,000 people dinner. Same way, they did in Houston also. 1 lakh people were served dinner during the inauguration. So there was a debate on why temples are required, and there was a very good explanation given by the Swamiji there. He says that if temples are not there, then you will not even consider. I mean, people who are so busy in their life will not even consider that there is somebody supreme, and they'll forget everything. But at the same time, he said temples are not the place where you'll find God, but you'll find divinity to reach God. So that's how explain. So it reinforces what you said about the story about the Buddha.
Thank you. Thank you. Temples are supposed to be like institutions where we can learn about God, where we can serve God, we can do lots of things. But these days, I mean, it's not a place of learning anymore. It's a place of just congregate, socializing, or other activities. That is sad.
Yep,
So,
true.
so the scriptural knowledge should be given in the temples.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. I don't have any question, but just wanted to say that a very wonderful and nectarian class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for always enlightening us every morning.
Thank you, Mata. Thank you for engaging me in this service.
Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Sure.
Uh, question is like so many, I mean, like our parents, and I know there are so many parents that who don't follow these sanskaras. However, I mean, then how is it possible? Is it because of our past karmas or parents' past karmas? Because I mean, like it is. I'm sure it is not the case. Like if you don't follow that karma, that sanskara, your kid will not become very learned or something. Of course, they are pious, even if the sanskara is not, been followed.
True. True. Uh, well, they have their own. Every soul has its own set of karmas. But by performing this Garbhadan sanskar, we would be inviting a real pure soul to come and stay in that womb and take birth. But even if that sanskar is not done at that time, fine, we cannot go back in time and change it. So that is not possible. So now, at least now try to give the kids new, better spiritual sanskars. And that is possible. Now I'm getting into art of parenting. I'm not a parent, but what I've learned from so many different parents is until parents follow, they cannot impose it upon the kids that you do it because I told you to. Parents have to follow and set an example. Kids learn more by the example than the words. They see their parents, they observe the parents much more than they listen to the words. So we have to teach them by example. So for that, we have to follow first. And follow means follow, not just matter of just show off. We really, we really make it our sanskar. Sanskar is what? Sanskar is uh, it's basically whatever we bring from previous lives, and it becomes our nature. That is a sanskar. So now, knowing that okay, something is good for me or something bad for me, I follow the good things because I want to make it my nature. It was not my nature, fine. Like chanting was not a part of our nature before we joined ISKCON. But now when we take it up seriously. We take up the process seriously. We take up, and when we take up the process, obviously our nature, thought process, it will change, it will start changing. And then the kids, at least for the sake of kids, we take it up and they will follow. Or at least we try to give them the sanskar. Maybe when they become teenagers, they will not follow because that age is always a rebellious age. But if the sanskars are given nicely, they will come back. They'll take up the process maybe later on. That's okay. Will they take it up? But this is the duty, most duty of the parents. At the same time, yes, our duty, as parents, the duty is to give them good education, provide nice place for them, within the means, obviously, nice upbringing, nice food, and we arrange, take care of them while they get settled in jobs or business or whatever. This is a duty, but at the same time, the duty is also to give good sanskars, good um, spiritual life that they can follow. Ultimately, it's the spirituality that is going to help them, save them, not good, very good education. Or even if they go to Harvard or Oxford, you think it's going to save them? No. But if they want to, if they're qualified to go to wonderful universities, we should help. At the same time, give the spiritual education, spirituality. That will really make them peaceful. So try to strike a balance. But first of all, we have to set an example for the kids to follow. Then we can expect something from them. I hope it's okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for such wonderful answers.
Thank you, Prabhu. I guess I can only say these things because I don't have kids. You all will say, you don't have kids, that's why you're saying all this, Babaji. You don't have practical experience of all this.
No, I can add to that point. Experience. If you allow me to speak.
What's that, Raghu Prabhu?
No, I just wanted to add to what you have said. It's really
Yeah.
true. You know, sanskara is something which we have to imbibe in the kid when he is just learning and getting that realization. So I did my son's Upanayanam at 7. We come from an Orthodox Brahmin family, and you won't believe, even today he does that Gayatri in the morning. He puts that red dot on his face and goes to school. Although everybody in the school might be teasing him. Even my daughter says, "Why are you putting?" Everybody will laugh at you, but he will never say no to it. He will put the buttu and then go. And also he will be always watching for spiritual thing. Whenever there is an argument, he will come and say, "This is how we should do." So it does have an impact if you do it early age. But I am sure that teenagers, maybe they'll get drift a little bit and come back later.
Yeah, teenagers, their only motto is don't listen to the parents. So please be ready for that.
Yeah. And also, father passed to me, daily I do something. We have Saligram. Daily I do puja. In fact, I am doing my puja and I attending this. So, I mean, that comes automatically. You don't have to force it. If you start that in the early
Yeah.
Prabhuji,
So I think,
Prabhuji,
yes, Prabhu.
I totally agree with Raghu Prabhuji, because this is the same thing happened. Like when I was a kid, my father used to sit at 8 o'clock and started chanting and all these things, which I was just hearing while sleeping, and that has bring it to me. If one day I don't do the puja for 20 minutes, I feel like I'm lacking, I'm missing something. So, but at the same time, just a difference. My younger brother, he has studied in missionary school, and at some point of time back, he was atheist. He was absolutely not believing, and being Orthodox Brahmin family, my parents always say, why don't you, even he was not wearing the janeus, which we supposed to wear it, but then slowly, gradually, by keep on telling him now he's wearing janu, at least he is doing Hanuman Chalisa in the morning. So I feel a little bit lucky that by hearing those, chantings and morning prayers from my dad and mantras, at least doing every day this thing. That's a routine work for me. So I agree with what Raghu Prabhuji has said just now, that it comes from your parents, kind of inheritance.
Yeah, yeah. That's what our duty is as parents. This is our duty. So I guess we can stop here.
Prabhuji, one request.
Yes,
If
Mata.
Prabhuji, whenever you have time, one session on parenting, please. I've been asking Radha Prabhu for the same. So now that you have brought it, so please, Prabhuji, please. I think I need it, and there would be a couple of more people who it might help all. I am the one who needs it.
Yes,
Definitely.
Mataji. We all.
So, Prabhuji, please, if you can take one session, so it will be
Okay,
very
I'll
helpful
try.
for us.
I'll try that. Okay. Thank you, Mata. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.